I found myself in closed-door conversations with AI tech executives and leaders just to realize how to win during the largest business opportunity in history. I'm Miles. Watch until the end, and you'll receive key insights and a free gift that could change your life forever. Hey, Cognitive Synergy Group. Just a little intro here. I'm here all the way up in the marina because the marina is awesome. I'm with an awesome individual and founder who's getting off the ground and running, who absolutely is insistent. He is just absolutely focused on getting the information to take his startup to the next level. He is extremely intelligent. He knows exactly what he's doing in his startup. But we're just kind of chit-chatting and just kind of bantering back and forth about the fundamentals. Like Tiger Woods had to go back to the fundamentals with his dad and others. We all have to go back to the fundamentals sometimes. And one of which is just some questions you all have at times, which is just how to get started, where to really think about, where to focus our time and effort. So that's kind of just where we're starting. You want to say anything?
Really appreciate. I'm talking. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
Probably, yeah. He probably can hear you well.
No.
There's no way to test it.
Yes, no.
I'll figure it out later.
First of all, I really appreciate for all the compliments, and the reason also I always like to come and have this conversation with you exactly because you're also a really resourceful person. Have been doing AI for some time already. Has been building some fantastic platforms. Market's complicated for everybody, and yes, we are here trying to have this startup conversation, and but I'm here more to listen than to talk because I'm sure he has more to talk than me. But thank you very much, Miles, for the invitation.
Jago's being humble. He has plenty to offer. He'll talk once once we get into it here. But he has plenty to share and to be of value to us today. So but yeah, we're just gonna talk just like normal. We're gonna forget you guys are here and just banter basically. Hopefully I can get online here real quickly. But yeah, I mean basically I was just kind of riffing earlier, Thiago. We were talking about getting off the ground and running. How startup founders, when they first start, kind of the main things like becoming investor ready, to get a safe node, to get a good solid amount of angel investor money. As you know already, you have to have a C corp, and there's kind of a debate about whether or not to have a Delaware C corp now or to not be. But Delaware C corp has been the standard. There's nothing wrong with it. Maybe down the road, it could probably be changed with success.
Saying also about Nevada.
What is it?
Nevada, Open Nevada.
Nevada, yeah. People are debating. Even for not so much tax purposes, a little bit of tax purposes, but people are concerned, and it's turned into a political issue with like Elon Musk. I think the debate really started when the board had already decided on a pay package. I think this is coming up maybe years ago or over a year ago now, and it's been politicized ever since, unfortunately. But I guess the courts ruled against Elon Musk and against the board of Tesla for some amount of the pay package. So the Delaware Corp at least was perceived to have it basically intervened unfairly in a political move, and that is the perception of some, not all. And again, it's very, very controversial and debated. I'm not taking a side in the issue, but as a result, for the first time in a long time, people are considering of actually forming a C corp like in other states like Nevada, like Texas, and others. And people are going to come with their own bias when they come into this conversation. Still, Delaware Corp is still very strong. It's been known for historically to be extremely fair in their court systems, very reliable overall, and you certainly won't. I don't think you'll miss out on investment opportunity just because you have a C corp in Delaware as of right now. I really don't. That's not the sense that I get. So anyway, so basically my first move is, and anybody watching, like for real, I think I used to say the most valuable, like, small amount of money I pay each month is like YouTube Premium, because like I listen to podcasts maybe like 2 to 4 hours a day, really good business tech podcasts. But now I'm starting to get to the point where I like love my $20 a month like Perplexity, and I'm even thinking about upgrading my Perplexity like from $20 to $200 a month, and especially like the deep research tool. So I wonder, we can even like, what? I already have this. No, I have my Pro. Oh, that makes, it's like I was logged out, I guess. Yeah, I'm on Pro. They're tripping. They're trying to sell me a package I already have, I think. But I go to deep research here. Now I used to, the reason I'm doing this is because when I did my C Corp in 2021, things were a lot different, and I used the best tool at the time, which was called Clerky. And so I wonder if there's a better, more affordable one. Let me Google search Clerky, how much they're charging these days. One moment. So I remember the nice thing about Clerky was that they basically support you much later in your startup life once you buy their first package. And so it's Clerky.com is what I'm describing. I'm sure lots has changed in the last 4 years. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is incorporation. But it was like literally Y Combinator took them on just to like use their system, because it was a big deal to get ready for a safe note. Oh, I just want to know the pricing. Okay, yeah, so I feel like this is way cheaper than what I used to have. But there is a $427 package and an $819 package. So that includes a $203 Delaware expedited filing fee. So this is supposed to happen fairly quickly. It includes 100. So I got all these. Okay, so this is where instead of like just like Google searching, do the modern thing, which is go to Perplexity Deep Research. I'm just gonna look and compare real quick, because I haven't really done this in like 4 years. So I'm gonna say I used Clerky.com to set up my Delaware C Corp 4 years ago, but I'm sure things have changed. Do a comprehensive, deep research on the best tools to use today to establish my C Corp for the first time. I would also like to know if Delaware is still the best state to incorporate. There are better in 2025, 2026. Ensure to be comprehensive in your research and objective in your report back to me using reasoning equals high. And following my instructions thoroughly. I'm going to say don't really have to spell perfectly. It doesn't matter. Don't really have to spell, so I did. Still the best state to incorporate. Best tools and alternatives and best recommendation thoroughly. Okay. Yeah, so I used Perplexity Deep Research. I needed Clerky.com to set up my Delaware C Corp 4 years ago, but I'm sure things have changed. Do a comprehensive deep research on the best tools, alternatives, the best recommendations thoroughly to use today. Establish my C Corp for the first time. All relevant information like costs, pros, cons, and benefits, etc. Provide all relevant information like costs, pros, cons, benefits. I would also like to know if Delaware is still the best state to incorporate. If there are any other states that would be better. Ensure to be comprehensive in my research. Reasoning equals high, and follow my instructions thoroughly. So this is me being extra cautious. This is actually truly what I would do in your situation. I would not assume the information I had 4 years ago applies today. So instead of me just blurting out the first thing I know for sure, I'm going to use this tool, whom I tested a lot in a lot of research. It's very grounded, so it's doing a complete scour. You can't see my screen, but it's going to take a few minutes, if not several minutes, pulling up dozens and dozens of online sources, and then agentically scraping the web. And so when it says deep research, it's actually a really true deep research tool. And they're going to go on to other competitor sites that they find, and they're going to find pricing and comparisons and stuff like that. If you have a budget in mind, if you have a dollar number in the back of your mind, you can actually tell it, hey, this is my situation. This is my budget for something like this. This is my goals. So Delaware's dominance in corporate formation is eroding as Wyoming and other states offer compelling alternatives. For venture-backed startups seeking institutional investors, Delaware remains the default choice due to its specialized court of chancellery and investor familiarity. However, for bootstrapped early-stage companies, Wyoming offers substantial cost savings. $62 versus $175 annual fees. Privacy advantages. Nevada presents a middle ground but lacks clear differentiation. For formation, Clerky's $819 lifetime package remains the gold standard for venture-backed startups requiring legally precise documentation, while Stripe Atlas $500 and First Base $399 offers better value for founders, prioritizing cost and operational support. The optimal choice depends on fundraising plans, budget constraints, and operational complexity. Okay. Yeah, this is what I love about this. This is probably entirely accurate, too, if you check the sources. State selection analysis, Delaware versus emerging alternative. Delaware's enduring strengths and growing weaknesses. So I can ask it to summarize probably. Wyoming's strategic advantage. Zero franchise tax. That doesn't apply. Privacy by default. Lower filing fees. Simplified compliance. Okay. And I'll share this link with you too. Clerky, the legal precision standard pricing, $819, one-time lifetime package, or $427 pay-per-use formation. Okay. Yeah, this is the one I use. Specializes exclusively in venture-backed Delaware C Corp formation. The platform was built by former startup attorneys. Y Combinator, Delaware C Corp formation with expedited filing, and Stripe Atlas, $500. Okay, not a whole lot of differentiation. I mean, they're going to pretty much get the same thing up front. It looks like let's see if they have a recommendation. Recommendation by founder profile for venture-backed technology startups, optimal stack, Clerky lifetime package plus Delaware C Corp. Yeah. The $819 upfront cost pales in comparison to the $50,000 to $100,000 in legal fees during Series A. So it should avoid a lot of issues at the Series A. Which also means if you avoid a lot of issues at the Series A, that also means like investors and follow-on investors will see, oh, he made the right decision, and you're more investable that way. So if you make the right decision, early on, then it signals to investors like, hey, this person will make good decisions going forward as well.
What is the best decision in this case?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's recommending Clerky by far. It looks like in Nevada, from what I read from this, and we can deep dive into it. From what I skimmed off the top, is that Nevada, it won't give you any tax savings like at all. It'll help just a little bit on like yearly fees, but only like some small like $50 a year or some bullshit. And then it'll probably help. They said something about compliance, simplified compliance as well. But that's all stuff you have to worry about much later in the startup, And then but still, Delaware C Corp is extremely well understood. It's respected by basically all investors. And so for the extra like $300 or $400 in comparison, and especially compared to actually getting a lawyer to do it for you, which is way more expensive, like in the tens of thousands of dollars, Clerky is probably going to be the best bet from what I read here. And it's what it recommends is to do the Clerky. Its highest recommendation after analysis is to do Clerky in Delaware for a Delaware C Corp, and you'll have no issues with investors on that front. Like all your legal stuff will be totally ready. You'll have zero objections from investors on your legal standing, basically. So it's a lot more certain. Yeah, final verdict. Delaware's legal infrastructure remains indispensable for venture-backed startups, but its cost and complexity no longer justifies universal adoption. Clerky justifies $819 premium for companies planning institutional fundraising, providing lifetime legal document access to the world. Yeah, $20,000 plus for traditional legal counsel. for 80% of the startups that never raise venture capital, Wyoming's via Firebase offers superior economics, so it just costs a little less. Annual fees. But you don't have to pay you don't have to pay annual fees except for like $100 or $200 a year with Clerky. That's just to go to Delaware. If your startup can realistically raise $500,000 in venture capital within 24 months, choose Delaware, C Corp, and Clerky. Yeah. Do not choose Clerky if you're forming an LLC, operating or non-venture business. Yeah. Do not use Wyoming if you have signed term sheets already and they're demanding a Delaware. See, some might demand a Delaware C Corp. Yeah, so you Delaware, that's like your best bet. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then as you know, C Corp will like protect your startup as long as you keep good records and everything, and you justify everything. Like all your liability goes into the C Corp if some crazy happens, as you know. So yeah, probably C Corp. So it's still the best option. Amazingly, it's Clerky, and they recommend the lifetime package. If you're really on a budget, I guess there's probably a one-time fee. And then there's the different options. But I think either way you'll end up with at the end of the day you'll end up with C Corp. I got the lifetime package just because like if I get a co-founder, I get an early employee, I could literally in 10 minutes be able to issue stocks, investing stocks, and it'll just generate the documents for me, like legally. Everything's soundproof.
They do this for you?
Yep, lifetime. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Like anytime. Like if you need to prove to an employee like you're real serious, they're going to be an awesome employee. I absolutely want to give you 3%. With vesting, maybe they vest over like 1 year or 2 years. You can create the document all in here, and you don't have to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get a lawyer involved. It's literally all right here. That's why Clerky is so awesome. But I think if you pay this, then you don't have the lifetime access. So yeah. And there's they go into all the details. It's up to you.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, so that's almost guaranteed. And the nice thing about this, when you get started, I remember they'll step you through step by step. So you literally, unless you want to do like a quick Google search, they have all the details like of exactly what you need to put into Clerky. Like you literally don't have to know anything about formation. They'll step you through exactly how to create it step by step. And now I'm wondering, hold on. How long does it take to get the C Corp official documents after I complete the Clerky application? Yeah, so follow-up question. So it's searching. Yeah, this is why I love Perplexity so much. And I've used it so many times that I trust it for like this deep research stuff. And you can also like create pictures and thumbnails. I accidentally created a video one time. I told it to like make something, and then it like made a video for me that looks pretty cool with my face in it. It was pretty crazy. Perplexity, $20 a month. Okay. Certificate incorporated 1 to 3 business days. Holy shit. Once completion of the Clerky application and payment, Clerky files a certificate of incorporation, Delaware Secretary of State, on an expedited basis. Built in, Delaware typically processes and returns the filed application within 1 to 2 business days, and Clerky makes it available in your dashboard within 2 to 3 business days total. Wow. That's for like one of those hot rounds. You're like, holy shit, I need this ASAP. I guess that's assuming you have all your information, assuming you have everything available to it. The application process is kind of long. That's awesome. Yeah. That's why people love it. That's why it's the gold standard. So, yeah. And there's no additional fees on top of the $800 whatever $19. It's like all included into that, the filing fees, everything. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's the best option. Number 2, we were talking about pitch deck and then demo. Do you want to go over my pitch deck and see how I did mine?
Sure.
This has been 5 years in the making, my pitch deck. And I would make my pitch deck I would get all this feedback. I'd listen to every podcast, every major YouTube video, and from prominent investors on YouTube, and then come up with a pitch deck. And it still was terrible, it turns out, unbeknownst to me. So this is a lifelong process building a and so I'm sure there's more improvement. But this is basically, my new early stage startup, Project Olivia, the mission of enabling the world to easily build AI agents. So I got my cover letter. I am a solo founder, but I have a world-class advisor, actually.
Of course, I met him.
Yeah. That's who I was talking about earlier. That's my close friend, and he is an official advisor in my startup as well. And he is Y Combinator. He's fully Y Combinator based, fully part of the ecosystem. He's a successful startup founder who is 2 or 3, I guess 2 stages of fundraising ahead of me. He's a design and product expert, and he's a serial startup founder. So I have him on my founder page. You guys can't see it. Yeah, we had to have met. Yeah, through me. I guarantee we hung out. Yeah, we hung out before.
So I know. Okay.
Good guy too. He actually came from a world-class, like a prestigious design university from India. Not really well recognized in United States, but he's a good designer, and he's a really good designer. Okay. Ready? So I've had success in my previous startup, but I don't have, I'm getting close to having my first customer in my new startup, but I don't have any customers, I do have a web page. I'm still building out the infrastructure, and I'm going to do that for a customer of mine. But what do I have as a individual who's kind of pre-product market fit, pre-revenue? I emphasize kind of my background and my expertise. So I say I'm a founder. I'm becoming a top voice in pioneering AI agents and agent engineering, a new field. So that helps. And if they're unsure, they can go to my LinkedIn and see I've been in, a featured speaker in 2 forums just this week, and it's only Wednesday. And I'm scheduled tomorrow morning to be in another one. So I can start to say, hey, I'm a top voice in pioneering AI agent engineering. I was asked to consult Costco at one point. That was a huge opportunity. that I didn't continue the conversation with, maybe to my demise, but I couldn't do it through my startup. So, but that's a huge plus. Just mentioning, hey, a Fortune 500 brand approached me about a consulting gig. No matter how big or small, can help. I'm a technical advisor. You can look on my LinkedIn. I'm a technical advisor to, I believe, 4 startups now, maybe 5 now. And I have AI agent building experience. So 3+ years of AI agent building. I quantified it. So $30,000 in API cost, over 600,000 runs to the AI model in real world B2B solution setting. And then I did sell a company before my last startup. So I'm just going to say successful startup exit. But it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was just 10 million, but it's still like, hey, I'm a serious entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for like 8 years now. So just kind of mentioning that really helps. So that makes it all look good. So in our general founder page, it's like, oh, these are the accelerators we combined have been in, etc. Making it simple. I could have put a lot more on here, but I really did the punchiest, most the biggest things. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, fundamentally, how do we think about this? AI, going into AI and AI agent. I want to frame it because I try to start getting it. Well, in my last startup, it was like, well, there's already a bunch of softwares. Saw a bunch of softwares for vacation rentals, and they do all these things, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they make a lot of money, and the money's saturated. Like, oh, instead of all that, you say, no. AI, this is a whole new paradigm. We're not trying to compete with all these little softwares. We're on a whole nother fundamental shift. We're not disrupting current software. We're disrupting labor and service costs. There's a whole new blue ocean. So this is like, as a category creator. I'm like, not just existing software. We're in a whole new category. No one's doing this with AI. What are we disrupting? Not current software. We're disrupting labor and service costs, which, as we all know, we could say immediately, wow, that's going to be big. Okay. And remember, a pitch deck is just that. It's a pitch. You don't come to a movie director board and say, I have the whole movie ready to go. You just have to buy it from me. You literally just, you pitch it. You only have like 5 minutes. You give it to them. This is the idea. It's the crux. And then you sell the rights to that idea for that movie or that film. You don't have to have the whole movie baked, and certainly not in early stage startup land. You do not have to have the whole startup ready to go. You do not have to have it all proven. Early stage at angel round, you don't even have, there's like different risks that are mitigated at each stage. And that's what defines a stage of fundraising. And you actually don't even have proof of product yet. You just have concept. You have concept, you demonstrate, you have concept, and you have the reasonable assurance to the investors at the angel round that you can accomplish your idea. It's like, okay, great idea, and you're competent to accomplish that idea at a superior, like at a higher rate than most people. If you have those two things really well down in their mind, in their perception, then you can win an angel round. Those are the two risks you have to overcome. Go over again. It's so important. The 2 risks you have to convince investors of in an angel round is, number 1, that it is a great idea at this time, in this context, in this world. So great idea. Don't even have to have the product. Great idea. And then B, maybe you have to have that product. Maybe you have to show product. Maybe you have to show revenue. Maybe whatever. But you can technically be pre-product as long as they for sure know that you're competent and can accomplish, this idea, this really good idea, at our best rate. Crazy, but yeah, that's what an angel round consists of. Now, there's all these other risks. When you get to the pre-seed round, it's like market validation, like real numbers. You get to a seed round, there is other risks you have to overcome to raise a seed round, like scalability and product market fit issues. And then when you get to a Series A, you have to overcome like some technical debt and further scalability issues and all these. But at an angel round, at the very first round of funding, is it a good idea? And are you the one to execute on it? And there's a lot of details within those too, but those are the most important things in an angel round. Okay. So I say, what are the problems? There are AI agents. What are you talking about? OpenAI is an agent. Why would they invest in you? There are now AI agent builders with Lemmy. I said, whoa. Hold on. But AI agents suck. I say AI agents today have many issues. They're high friction, so they're hard to create. It's hard to imagine until you see it. Like, this will be common knowledge in 2 to 5 years. But you have to really be very clear. AI agents today are not user friendly. Steep learning curve to create, develop, and maintain AI agents. They're unreliable. People don't trust them. That's a big reason why they haven't taken over the world yet. Most require human intervention and approval before value is provided. They're poor at learning. So they do not learn preferences, procedures, and policies of the size user organization. AI agents don't do that yet. You just one-shot it, you let it go, you entirely delete what they did, you clean up their mess, or you approve what they did. And that's not learning. That's not learning at all. They're rigid workflows, so they're not dynamic to handle many of the edge cases, and it's a long tail of edge cases. And most situations are edge cases, and so that's why they're unreliable. They're incompatible. So very few AI agents are compatible with users' current systems. And the million agent dilemma. There's too many discrete little specialized AI agents that users has to build and purchase. You're building an AI agent for this workflow. You're building an AI agent for this workflow. You're buying an AI agent for this workflow. You're buying an AI. So what if it's a platform that does everything in one package, out of the box, ready to go? So we're solving the number one bottleneck in Project Olivia, which is information retrieval. I had solved information retrieval. Information frameworks to greatest scale, and there's summary-based multi-query retrieval. You see how I'm going. It seems simple, but it's problem. Oh yeah, that makes sense, Miles. Like, this is a massive problem in AI agents. How do you solve it? Bam. I can solve it. I was like, oh, you're onto something. Oh, you innovated something that this actually really solves. Okay, I get it now. You see, at this point, you should start to see the investor be like, oh shit. He sees, I was skeptical at first, but now I think he sees something that few people actually see. I get this all the time. Oh, there's an AI agent everywhere. There's AI agents for everything. Oh, wait a second. There's not this next generation of AI agents that are coming. So what am I suggesting? It's a platform from first principles. The first and most advanced AI agent that does all online work is affordable, reliable, user-friendly, dynamic workflow, and compatible with your systems. Crazy. So I provided an example. So this is where it gets into the demo part. I provided an example I created from my last. This is all I have right now. So technically I'm pre-product, but I'm giving an example of my last startup, like how this looks. It's multi-user, so it's reaching out to the guest, and by the end of it, they see it's like making all these decisions, reaching out to the maintenance, it's reaching out to the cleaner, it's going back to the guest, it's troubleshooting with the guest again. It's like, oh, So it's like, at least they have some idea. But I also explain, hey, it's going to have access to the web. It's going to be able to click, drag, drop, fill out forms for you, fill out captchas for you, log into a browser, and that's how it's compatible with your systems. All these other features, text message for you, email for you, multi-modality. Now I do a comparison. So again, I still have to answer the question: is it a good idea? You have general purpose AI agents that can do a myriad of different pieces of work. And then you have specialized AI agents. An AI agent like Waymo can only drive you from point A to point B. That's all it can do. I mean, it's very complicated and it's very impressive, but it has one very narrow use case. Perplexity can only do research. Cursor and Replit can only code for you. And they're very impressive products, but they're not general purpose. You can't actually teach them, okay, Cursor, now I want you to, no, I'm not going to, no, my AI agent's not going to drive people around, but I'm just giving the idea. Maybe I can change this page, but I'm giving it a comparison. Waymo, I'm comparing myself to Waymo because there's not many really full autonomous things, AI agents out there. Project Olivia is only AI full autonomy, does all the work from beginning to end reliably. That's also general purpose. So it's the only one in the far right corner. So that's why I'm doing this huge, what's called market analysis, a huge competitive advantage. And I'm saying, okay, we're the only one in this category that's actually going after this. It's not here yet. But as long as they know I'm the one to execute on this, then they'll invest. Okay. Industry barriers to entry. Most industries use challenging to penetrate and scale until now. So we're scalable. First ever market scalability and rapid market penetration for all these other reasons. I can go into detail here, but you want to kind of start to answer some future stage issues like, okay, how are people going to adopt your technology exactly? How exactly are they going to switch from your budgeting tool to another budgeting tool? What's that look like? What's the friction look like? Is it compatible with their bank? Is it compatible with their credit card? Do they have to get a new credit card? How long do they have to wait for that? All these things investors will ask. You actually don't even have to have the solution. You say, I don't know, but I think I'm going to try ABC. And that'll show your competence. You're aware of the problem in the future. And you have a really smart way of thinking about how to approach it. But you at least, at minimum, need to say, this is how I will get enough information to then decide on a solution down the road. Or at this stage, I will then be able to partner with a bank and then be able to get this. You have to answer these type of questions. These barrier to entry, penetration, then scaling, throughout the whole market. Why? Because I'll go into this later. But anyway, I give a little background. Maybe this is not too necessary. I kind of oversimplify the agentic workflow. Information comes in from stimulus. The agent learns. The agent asks for humans to help in some cases, or sometimes it just acts on the tool. Extremely simplified. But then the actual AI agent will then learn an industry. It'll learn different verticals. Okay. Now we're talking about how to not just have competitive advantage in the present, but how to think about competitive advantage in the future. Now, once this spirals and takes off, I'm already thinking in my mind, oh, this is going to be highly competitive in every industry down the road. Okay, interesting. So this founder is thinking about its competitive advantage in the current day, in the midterm, and in the future. You see that? So the investor is like, wow, you've really thought this through. And things change all the time, and strategies will change. Okay. What I recommend in even at the angel round is like, think about two-sided network effects. Network effects are some of the most powerful strongholds and competitive advantages in technology today. They make up of over 80% of all value created. And one of the largest ones is two-sided marketplaces or multi-sided marketplaces. So maintaining and growing leading team platform value with strong network effects and virality growth. When a organization or individual comes onto Project Olivia platform, they then need to get their manager on the platform, and they need to get their customers on the platform. Maybe they'll refer their friends as well. But in order for it to work really well, they don't have to, but they invite their network onto the Project Olivia platform. And so if their network is on the Project Olivia platform, making it easy, lowering costs, making it frictionless, then they will stay on the Project Olivia platform. It's what's called two-sided network effects. Two-sided network effects. And then, so I say the strongest moats in the future will be two-sided managed marketplace. So it'll manage the collaboration between all these individuals. So they'll stay, and it provides value to them. So that's how they arrive, but then they stay on the network. But then they also data network effects. Now we have their data. They're not going to want to go over to another AI agent platform, because then they have to reteach that AI agent all over again. You see what I'm saying? Huge competitive advantage in the future. Maybe there's a slightly better platform that's like 10% better in 2034, but they're not going to want to switch over to the other platform because then they'd have to retrain that AI agent all over again. Their data will stay on our platform. It makes it easy. They're not even thinking about switching. They're good. They're happy. So again, competitive advantage, competitive mode in the future. Blue ocean strategy. So you have to be very clear. This is the TAM slide. How much is the online AI agent market going to be worth? And so the best estimates by consulting firms around the world is that the agent world market will be worth a conservative, $200 billion. And it's just less than 15 billion today. So it's going to grow extraordinarily in less than 10 years. That's a fraction of today's $3.7 trillion knowledge worker costs. So that's just a fraction of it, and it could get larger. You could even say Jevons paradox will allow this category to grow by 10x as a potential. So if there's a take rate on the platform that averages 13%, in other words, we take 13% of all revenue that flows through this market, just 13%, that's $18 billion market. Extremely conservative markets. So we're talking about a clear pathway, a headwind, and wind at your sail, so to speak. Wind at your sail path towards $1 billion outcome, which is what all investors care about. This is what these big investors, they'll invest in hundreds and hundreds of startups at the angel round and pre-seed round, just hoping one of them or two of them become $1 billion outcome, and they're set. They weigh, as long as one of them or two of them and all the rest entirely go to zero and fail, they just want one. They just want to make sure every single one of those has a pathway to $1 billion outcome. And that's what makes you investable as well. So all these things. Oh, how much am I raising? I think I'll be able to do this, especially if I get a letter of intent, which kind of helps. If I get a letter of intent from an upcoming customer soon from the law firm I'm talking to, I was mentioning to you earlier, of $100,000 contract, over the course of a longer period of time, not ideal, but at least it's a letter of intent, real revenue coming in, real paying customer. This could be possible. This could be possible. I don't know. I'll have to test the market, and it changes a lot. But I would raise $100,000 at a $1.6 million valuation. So maybe 6% of the company for $100,000. And I wouldn't want more than like 2 or 3 investors, ideally. I'd want one investor, which was super ideal, like my first investor. And I, even as a perk, if it helps in negotiation, I would give them these OLV tokens equivalent to that amount. Maybe this is the future of investing. I don't know. It's just a nice side idea. But yeah, that's me. Now I have appendix. This is much more about the infrastructure, how the agent's built. This was my example of vacation rental, so they can kind of double click into all these things. A lot of these things are know that the cost of AI models are going down, which is going to help. The performance of AI models are going way up still, even today. Competitive advantage, timing, why today, all that kind of stuff. I just kind of put at the end, but I wouldn't actually put in the presentation. These are all kind of just me anticipating questions that investors will ask me, like I'm prepared to ask these questions. And there's some questions in your market that are specific to your industry. You can't anticipate every question that an investor will ask you, no matter how smart you are. It's impossible. You just learn, after your first investor call, you learn the main objectives. You prepare for it better next time. You say it more crisply. You say it shorter, more concise, more confidently. Sometimes you change your pitch deck. You're like, actually, this was my 10-year plan before. Now this is my 10-year plan in order to overcome and navigate. That's how I learned. Literally how I learned. I mean, over like 100 investor calls. This is how I learned all this. Is I came prepared. I kept the main thing. And then lastly, when you're making your pitch deck, something to keep in mind, especially investor calls, you only have like 20 seconds to really catch their attention. Gosh, you only have a few minutes to really help them decide. You answered some of their main questions, and then you have like 10 minutes at most to go through your pitch deck. I mean, usually these investor calls are like 10 minutes, it's over. A lot of these pitch events, they're like, you only have 30 seconds, or you only have 20 seconds, or you only have 1 minute, or you only have 5 minutes. It's insanely small amount of time. You gotta punch it, you gotta smack it, you gotta say the most important things, and it's impossible to know like what people care about the most. It's impossible to know what investors will like the most until you have an ongoing discussion with them. It's part of networking. One of the most valuable thing about networking is getting advice, learning, growing, hearing from investors. That's how you do it. That's how you do the pitch deck. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'll send you a link to like a very simple like Y Combinator. Don't feel like, no one here should feel like they should have like an extraordinary, pitch deck. Just start it. Minimum viable pitch deck. Just minimum viable. Just get your ideas on paper. Make it look good. Make it look concise, and then move on. Just spend a couple days and then go on to product. Yeah, but these are the kind of things to think about as you're creating it. Yeah, super important. That's it. Anything you want to add?
Oh, fantastic.
Question?
Oh, fantastic.
Always questions, man. I have questions. I always have questions. I think, it'd be good to have an advisor. Advisor is pretty good. So then the third thing, Thiago and I were talking about kind of the pillars of getting started anywhere. Maybe you're a startup founder and you're like really wondering like, oh yeah, how do I just get started? How do I even begin? And you're like, okay, the very next thing a startup founder does after they have a formation, like they're serious about it, they'll have a C Corp formation. They're very serious about it. They'll have a pitch deck made to the best of their ability. Okay, knowing they're going to iterate it on it. But then where most of the time is, and Thiago pointed this out correctly, is going to be in product. You start off with the demo. Demos are usually not scalable. Usually they're impressive. They have to be impressive. Demos have to be impressive. All demos are impressive. But usually they're not really actually like product worthy. This is the reality of things. We all seen like TechCrunch. You got these guys. I know these robotics startups. They have these video demos. They have these video demonstrations, and they're just not usable. Like no one would actually want. It looks impressive, but no one would actually want these robots in their home yet. But you got to start somewhere. You got to kind of A demo is all about capturing the imagination. It's all about like getting people's attention, hopefully going a little viral. And investors are smart. They know this, they don't even think they're being lied to. They know like a demo is a demo, Do you have customers? No. Don't lie. Don't lie about your customers. Don't lie about revenue. Don't lie about your demo. Like say, hey, this is the reality of my demo, but this is what we're going for. You create the demo, you make it impressive, you make it very impressive. It's interactive. You make it as impressive as possible. So you make it a little usable. You make it's really easy to make an AI agent for a very specific use case to start with, and then kind of help the investor's imagination. Like, oh, this could be for everything, and be clear when they ask a question. Be direct about your answer. Investors appreciate that. But yeah, that's what a demo is. A demo is impressive. And then that's when you create your MVP, minimum viable, meaning it's actually viable. Like you're not going to be if you're not embarrassed by your MVP, you're launching too late. Like you put an MVP, you're wanting to put out customers. You handle all the objections, you handle all the issues you can anticipate and know about the industry, as much as you do, as confidently as you can, and then you just start pushing it to. This is the lean startup method for real. You push it out, really early stage stuff. You push it out to customers, and then you just see their feedback. You see how they react. You see how you look very carefully about how they interact. You walk them through it, but after they try it themselves, you ask them follow-up questions. Insights are the most important thing. So then you get a shit ton of insights from your users, and then you iterate. You iterate every single day. You iterate every single week until you have more users, until you start to find users that'll actually pay for your product. And then that goes into the product phase. And you literally just keep doing that ad nauseum, thousands of times, usually tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of times over the course of many years until you hit what's called product market fit. And product market fit is a product that is lovable, that like it's so great to have that your customers then refer other customers that refer other customers that refer other customers to the point where your startup can't handle it. You don't have enough computing. You don't have enough scalability. Your databases start to break down. You start to have security vulnerabilities. You can't hire fast enough to keep up with demand. People are pulling it out of your hand and trying to give you money in exchange, and then they're asking for refunds because some stuff breaks. Like, oh, I want to keep those customers. I don't want to keep refunding people. So you keep hiring, you keep building. That's when you know you've hit product market fit for sure. And then that's when, and at each step of the way, you can raise a different round of funding and continue on with the expectation, with the real goal and intent of going big someday, at least having a chance to. So yeah, that's the startup life. That's early stage startup in a nutshell. Entirely. But there's a lot more details. There's a lot to learn, especially in a very specific niche. A founder will become an expert at budget tools, the budget tool industry, banking, statements, whatever else, what all the other connected aspects associated with the budgeting tool or whatever niche you're in. You'll become an expert in that category, and then you'll become an expert in managing people and all this stuff. And you'll just get wave after wave of learning until something hits. But yeah, that's the startup life, the startup journey. High risk, high reward. It's not for the faint of heart, and doesn't. It's not for most people, but it's for some people. Yeah, here it is.
It's for the brave. You need to be brave.
Had to be brave, yeah. a slight bit of delusion and craziness. Yeah, you start off delusional, like you know everything. Then you hit a wall of disillusionment, and as long as you learn fast enough, and the key is to learn fast enough, you realize all the unknowns you didn't know, and then you realize all the unknown unknowns you don't know, and then you learn quick enough, you could overcome that and then become a real true expert. But I don't think anybody really gets started if they as an expert. There's just too much detail and knowledge. That's what careers are for. Just have to be a little crazy, a little bit crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I think that's pretty good. I just went on a big rant, but time is it. Sweet. Any questions?
Not at all. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, those were kind of the main three things we wanted to talk about, right? Awesome.
No, fantastic.
All right. I guess I might put this on YouTube. So I don't know. They'll like, subscribe, all the boring stuff. Yeah, I got an intro and outro already. So anyway, this cool casual conversation. See you guys later.